She hates the cold. So, let me see if I can get some lights on in here. Well, I broke my car. I don't know if I said it in one of the last videos, but I noticed when I was reinstalling the diff that there was a crack in my subframe. I JB welded it, and after a couple days I noticed that the JB weld was also cracking. Since I noticed that, I decided I'm basically done drifting for the season. No sense in rushing to swap out the rear end to go drift for a day when, you know, it's not gonna be ideal. I just don't like rushing to get ready for events. And then, you know, my luck, I would register for the event, buy a ticket, and then all of a sudden I find something else that's wrong with the car, and then I have more things to rush to fix. And I don't want to do that, especially with it being so late in the season. I already got a ton of driving in this season, so I'm calling it good, and that's it. I don't need to drift anymore this season. The car is on daily driver duty now, and just needs to get me to work and back. But on Saturday, my friend was having a Halloween party and said, "Hey, we're having a Halloween party. Come through and bring the BMW. We're doing burnouts." So naturally, my response is, okay, say less. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do a burnout or 2 or 3 with my drift car. It's just one clutch kick, right? What's the harm that it can do? Well, nothing happened while doing a burnout. I actually did, you know, a decent second gear burnout down the length of my buddy's driveway. After, the car was fine. It fine. It wasn't broken. Didn't hear any noises from the rear end. For my drive home, I only live a quarter mile away from him, so it's not like I had a long drive home, but it's like it's a right and a right and a left and a right and then a left into my driveway. So like it's a decent amount of turning, and for the most part they're all like 90-degree turns. And slowing down, about to turn onto my street, I downshifted from second gear into first gear. I need first gear to go, like, to make this turn, just because it's like the road is like this, and then I'm turning onto the road that's like this off of a road that's like this. So it's like I really have to slow down to make this turn without making a bunch of ruckus, like screeching tires and stuff like that. So I downshift from second to first gear, and when I do that, as soon as I go to let the clutch out, I immediately hear thunk come from the rear end. I'm in the car warming it up right now. I did jack it up and look underneath the car, and I can see more cracking, more fresh cracking. On the driver's side, there is, and that was the part that was cracked more in the first place, but it's yeah, I'll try and jack the car up and take a picture of it or video of it later on, because I gotta do something because I haven't driven the car yet, so this is actually the first like test of how it's going to feel. But obviously no downshifting, no hard acceleration, and we're just going to go very easy. Any sort of harsh movement in the drivetrain could cause more tearing and I don't want that. I just want to make it to work. So, wish me luck. So I don't know how much you're going to be able to see in here. But there's the crack through the JB weld. Right there. You can see it. And then if I come up over here, you can see right there is cracked. Let me see if I can get a light. 1 second. So this is the passenger side. It's not really cracked. I reinforced it with JB weld when I noticed this side was cracking. But from this angle, you can see where it's cracked along the bottom. And then up in top here, it's also cracked at the top. So there's very minimal metal holding this side of the diff to the subframe. So this is what's going to hold it up for the next few days until I can grab a new subframe, reinforce it, and swap it out. Basically just went around this piece, the part that it mounts to, and went around the outside, so it's pulling the pieces that are cracked together and holding the diff up. So obviously still can't drive hard, no burnouts, no hard decels, no hard acceleration, but it's safe enough to be driven on. And then another thing I noticed while I was doing this is a crack in my rotor. So luckily I already have a plan to replace these rotors and calipers and swap to a different rear brake setup, but that's another thing that happened after that burnout. All right, so the subframe is all reinforced, the bushings are removed, and it is ready for paint. I'm just gonna go through and show you what we did. There is a plate here that's welded on, and a plate here that's welded on. So that's the front mounting point. There is a plate here for the sway bar, and again on the other side for the sway bar. And then for the rear mounting points and the diff, there is a plate that goes from the diff mounting point to the rear cup. And again on the other side, from the diff mounting point to the rear cup. And when I was prepping it, I also noticed that there's a thin plate here, and the factory one actually had a little bit of a hole in it. So what I did was we fabricated up a little triangle here and just welded it in place. So that piece is now thicker and there's no rust hole in it. And he also used the little hole that was rusty and filled it from the front side. So it's just the excessive engineering subframe reinforcement kit with an added on front diff mounting point plate, I guess you would call it. But yeah, it's ready for paint. I'm just gonna do it black. I didn't really show any of the prep just because it was boring. I'm not gonna show any of the painting, but I am going to drop some of the clips of it being welded on. So I hope you enjoy.
for the next category to be called. So we just want to give you guys a reminder to search.
So that one's done. That one is done.
Also, DCT,
that one is done.
DCT. And racing DCT.
That one is done.
Right after X front wheel drive.
That
so
one is done. Just one left
in
to go.
Right after X front wheel drive category. So just as a
and it's going to go
quick
right
FYI.
here. Both sides that attaches it to the cup itself. And the way mine failed is this upper portion and the lower portion, because as you can see, it's just two pieces that are clamped together. The upper portion and the lower portion both cracked off of this cup. So it's currently just being held together with a ratchet strap, as you saw in one of the previous clips, around here and down and through there and blah, 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 blah. So this reinforcement plate setup is kind of exactly what I would have needed to fix the current one that's in my car. But rather than pull that one, prep it, fix it, and then put it back in the car, I figured it was smarter just to get another one, do the same thing that that one was going to need, and just put this one in the car. As you also saw in the clip where I showed you the subframe being ratchet strapped, I have a crack in one of my rear brake rotors. And I said I had a plan to replace that. And this is what that plan consists of. I've got rally road brackets to use a Porsche rear Brembo caliper, and it goes on a BMW 7 Series rear rotor. So these rotors are actually vented, so they dissipate heat much better. They're also a lot more surface area and much larger. So the goal for this week is to see if those brakes fit underneath my 17s. If they don't fit under my 17s, I have to source some 18s for the rear. And if they do fit under my 17s, I need to buy a second pair of calipers so that I can use them as my handbrake as well. So I think that'll be a really nice upgrade for the rear, just because I've always had a little bit of an issue with my parking, or not my parking brake, but my hydraulic handbrake not locking hard enough and having to tap my foot brake a little bit just to get the rears to lock up. But I feel like these calipers should do the trick. So they're 4-piston and they're separate, so it's a bleeder on each side. So I think these will have much better clamping force than the stock ones. And with the bigger rotor and bigger calipers, I should be able to stop really good. And even if I can't stop really good, it should lock up the rears, which is what I'm going for. And then on top of that, I also have this little cap. As you see inside of here, there's a piece that moves, and that it's actually a bushing for your drive shaft. So I believe currently the one that is on my car, the bushing is either blown out or just not there. So I want to try one of these ones to see if I can get rid of a little bit of noise in my drive shaft. That's going to do it for today. Have a great night, guys. Oh, that was hilarious. You should have been there. So I said I was going to leave, and then I decided, oh, let me move this because, you know, it's a shared shop, so I don't want it to be in the way. And I went to move it and dropped it on the ground, literally from that height. Bang. So yeah, instead of leaving, I put another half a can of paint on it. Now I'm gonna leave. So it's been a couple days since I painted the subframe. I'm back in the garage today. I decided I wasn't going to do the subframe today, but as you can see, my car is on the lift and the Tahoe is in the parking lot. So when I got here, the guy who was working on the Tahoe said, let's just push it out because you're going to be quicker than me. Yeah, well, no duh. I literally would have already had it done if it wasn't for the Tahoe sitting on the lift. But anyways, I got the subframe, or I got my old subframe out, and the new subframe is in. I still have to tighten everything up. The springs aren't in, the strut, like this whole side needs to be done still. But the subframe is in, and I started putting the arms back in. The diff is ready to go back in. I just wanted to see if I need to order another pair of the Porsche Brembos. Man, I'm all over the place. And to my surprise, they fit in the 17s. Like they're actually not even close, which is awesome because I don't have to worry about buying 18s. I can continue to run 17s, and I can just go and buy another pair of calipers for the other side. So I already showed it in this video, the parts. It's a Rally Road adapter kit, Porsche Brembos, and 7 series rotors. So that's exciting. The main reason that I wanted to do that and check to see if it was good today is because of this crack in the stock E36 rotor. Well, obviously it's not stock, it's drilled and slotted, but this is what happens when drilled rotors get too much heat in them. They crack. So I noticed that after the burnout. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you guys in this video is my old subframe. So as you can see, it's pretty crusty. This is where I noticed the crack originally, and as you can see, the JB Weld did not hold. Coming over to the other side, you can see it is starting to crack on this cup as well. Yeah, so not good. Not good at all. Yeah, so great job JB Welding. Did a great job prepping it. Oh, not really. See, look. But yeah, so it cracked this whole bottom piece. As you can see, it's 2 pieces, one like this and one like this. Oh, excuse me. So this whole piece cracked. Let's see if I can pick up some of this JB Weld. Oh, it's on there pretty good actually. Yeah, so the bottom piece is cracked, and this is where the diff mounts, so it's like pulling the diff. And then on the top side, oh, come on. And then on the top side, you see it's starting to crack down the length this way, and then also around the cup as well. So there was really only this much metal holding my subframe, this half of the subframe, this quarter of the subframe in, which is kind of scary because that is the diff mount. So that honestly could have broken off at any time. So pretty lucky that I was able to get it done before I broke anything further. So I still have to order the other set of Brembos. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I have two, which is good enough to do one side, or I can do just the foot brake, and then when I get the other set of calipers, do the hand brake, or do just that side that's already done, just hook up the lines, and then leave this side the way it is. Or I have to just put the stock stuff back on and then do the actual brakes when I get the second set of calipers. But I don't know how much I really trust this. I think it would be smarter, even though it's a different brake setup, to leave it like this, or just get rid of the handbrake altogether. I don't know. I really don't know. Because I feel like if I leave it like this tire will have a tendency to lock up more than the other tire. Actually, you know what? What really makes a difference is if I have brake fluid. If I don't have brake fluid here, then it doesn't matter. Because if I don't have brake fluid, then I can't refill the system and bleed it. And you know what? Oh, there's a little thing. I got a little thing of brake fluid right here. But it's open. Yeah, it's looking like I'm gonna wait. So they fit, but I'm just gonna put the stock stuff back on because I don't have brake fluid to fill up the calipers. Simple. But the Porsche rear Brembo does fit under my Miglias, which is honestly the most exciting part of this. I don't care about the subframe. I mean, I care. It's obviously going to be nice to have a subframe that is, I mean, look how fucking good it looks. But it'll definitely be nice to have good calipers and brakes. So there, I did notice one thing. Here, let me pop this wheel off. I did notice one fit in the wheels. However, of course, let me get a flashlight now too. Ooh. So they fit in the wheels, but I have to clearance right there. You can see where the upper control arm touches the bracket, because it's actually, the bracket isn't designed to be in the front here. It's actually designed to be in the back over here. So I'm gonna have to clearance that a little bit, which will actually make it a little easier to get to the nut that is supposed to be for this upper control arm. So I'm gonna wait to do this. But it fits, so that's super exciting. All right, I think that's gonna do it for this one. I really don't have anything else. I wasn't even gonna show the subframe swap, but I ended up doing it in like 2 hours, so not a big deal. So I'm just gonna put everything all back together, and that's literally gonna do it for today. I'll order the other pair of Brembos tomorrow and do my brake kit next week. So that's honestly pretty exciting. So have a great day, guys.